Welcome to this episode of World War II Wayfinder, and today I'm here in Normandy. It's June 2024, and for this episode taking part in the Commando March from Sword Beach on the extreme eastern flank of the British sector. So every year in Normandy there's lots of living history events that take place, and the Commando March from Sword Beach to Merville Gun Battery is just one of them. And I was lucky enough to be given a place on the march, and it's a fantastic experience to be here in Normandy, the right time of year, in the wartime uniforms of the Army Commandos that were tasked with relieving the Oxenbucks and 7 Para at Pegasus Bridge on the morning of D-Day. So the group I'm with today, there's a mixture of people from France, the Czech Republic and the UK, and we're all here representing different commando units. So there's the French detachment of number 4 Commando, myself as number 6 Commando, and then others representing number 3 Commando. And the Commando Brigade was all tasked with punching inland from Sword Beach and performing specialist roles to enable the infantry to then continue their advance further south and try and make their objective of Caen on the morning or by the close of play on D-Day. Now, from Ouistreham at Sword Beach, which is where we started the march from, we are now heading south, making towards Benouville at a fairly decent pace. And one thing about this march is everybody's carrying the correct wartime equipment, so it all comes at a cost. It's all heavy duty gear, and everybody is carrying roughly similar weights as to what they would have done on the 6th of June 1944. And for myself, portraying a medic here, I'm carrying this lovely stretcher which is metal, and it weighs a fair few pounds or kilograms, and yeah, it's a good experience getting to live just a small percent of what those men would have done on the 6th of June 1944. Clearly though, we've got it much easier today, having not been at sea for days and no enemy resistance in the area, but it's still incredible to experience this time of year in the right place and in the right kit. So we're now entering Colville, Montgomery, and prior to D-Day, this village used to be just Colville, but the local mayor said of the invasion and the Allies liberating them that he would name it after the general who liberated them. And as it was British forces that moved through the village here on the morning of the 6th of June 1944, that then it became Colville, Montgomery, and it still bears that name to this day. And now, fortunately, we've stopped for a much needed water break. So we're going to make the most of that, and then we're going to carry on the advance down to Benouville and the bridges there. So we've passed through Colville, Montgomery, and we're now at Saint-Aubin, and I think from here the route to Benouville, we're not too far from the bridges, the objective that was set for the Commandos on D-Day. And so far it's been an incredible reception carrying out this march. All of the cars and the members of the public that have been, or that we've been going past, they've all stopped, taken out their phones to record it. Cars have been honking and waving at us. It's a real celebration of what these men achieved here 80 years ago here in Normandy. So now from Saint-Aubin we are making our way towards Benouville, and in the distance there is the Breville Ridge. It was that high ground with a Bois de Bavant that would see British 6th Airborne Division fight for weeks after the invasion and hold that high ground to enable the actions around Caen. And now we're at the rear of the column, but we're about to start making that descent into Benouville and toward the 2 bridges over the Caen Canal. and the River Orne. And so far, the march has been really good. So much positive reaction from everybody passing by, and yeah, it's been good. Met an elder lady who was here during the war in Saint-Aubin, and yeah, incredible that these people who lived through those tumultuous times back in 1944, some of them are still around here to remember it and to see how that period is celebrated and commemorated now in 2024. So now we're in Benouville. We're just at the crossroads before heading down to the bridges, and this is the part of the march that I have been looking forward to the most. And there's the pipes playing, just as they did on the 6th of June 1944, as the men of the Commandos crossed over what became known as Pegasus Bridge. There's the Café Gondry, famous as the first building liberated on D-Day. And there is the bridge right in front of us. And up ahead, there's the men of the 6th Airborne waiting for us. So in reality, the men had landed here at 16 minutes past midnight on the 6th of June 1944. And between the 2nd Battalion Oxen Bucks and 7 Para, they had secured and held this area here at the bridges until the early morning of D-Day, when the Commandos finally arrived. So we've crossed over Pegasus and Horsa Bridge now, and now we're heading down to Amfreville, to the Commando headquarters. There is an old farm that was used as their headquarters, so that will be incredible to see it, as I've never been. I know of the farm, but I've never actually been there myself. But an incredible experience to march over Pegasus Bridge in the correct kit at this time of year and see the amazing reaction from all of the public that were there, and how it's clearly a real highlight for a lot of people today seeing us take part in this march. So an incredible experience, and marching now down the east bank of the River Orne. So to get to this side of the river, we had to cross over Horsa Bridge, which is the other bridge in the operation to secure the eastern flank of the invasion beaches. And it's the bridge that often gets forgotten about in the story of D-Day, because all the focus is on Pegasus Bridge and Major Howard's men of D Company, 2nd Battalion Oxen Bucks, but also he had men try and take Horsa Bridge.
Unit troop, advance!
But now one aspect of this march that's really cool, we've linked up with the 6th Airborne and marching with them now to Amfreville and then on to Merville as well, where the march will end. So I think another 4 or 5 miles to go. So we're about halfway through, and just such an incredible experience so far.
Not really friendly at all. And then next thing you know, there's an infantry.
So the march has finally made it to Amfreville. I pan the camera around. Hopefully you can see the church behind me, but we're now heading to the farm that was used by the Commandos as their headquarters during their time here in and around Amfreville. So behind me is the farm used by the Commandos for their headquarters here in Amfreville, and that's the march finished. We've done, I think, between 9 and 10 miles from Ouistreham at Sword Beach, all the way down Colville Montgomery, Saint-Auban, Pegasus Bridge, and then up on the east bank of the River Orne to here at Amfreville. And it's an incredible feeling being able to retrace the routes of the Commandos that they took on D-Day. Obviously, we've not done it under the same circumstances that they did, but just to gain even 1% of an understanding of the experiences that those men had during that momentous day on the 6th of June is an incredible feeling. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode and this small insight into the living history events that take place here in Normandy. And when they're done right, they are respectful and really quite rewarding. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.